All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Playing for Sushi, Football Life in Japan. Today we have the IBM BIGBLUE tight end, the living legend himself, John Stanton. How's it been, man? You're the longest tenured American now that I'm gone. Going on your
good.
11th season. How you feeling?
It feels good, man. Yeah. Aside from the body breaking down slowly, season by season, my heart is still full. With the passion and just appreciation to play. I appreciate you having me on here today.
When I heard have you on, came in at the same time.
That's true. When I heard that it was you doing the interviews, I somewhat second guessed should I do it or not. But I thought for the good of the league and for the good of the promotion, let's do this. So
no, and I mean thank you, man. And I mean like we were talking earlier, I call you Iron Man because I mean throughout your career you've basically done anything and everything you've needed to help IBM be successful as they are. And just before we even get to IBM, like you started out in a small school, right? Division III. You're probably one of the few guys, right? A lot of guys who've come here to Japan, they're all in Division I AA guys. You're one of the few guys that's come from the Division III ranks, and not just me personally, for me, it never matters where you start because we've all ended up in the same place, right? You've really come out here and you started out as a linebacker, right? Mm-hmm. In college, you were a linebacker. So, in your transition, when you came to Japan, how was that linebacker to tight end transition? How was that?
Well, I can't lie. I had one year of high school experience playing tight end, but as you know, going from like a high school offense to the X League where we're running no huddle,
hand signals,
spread offense was a little bit different. But basically how it happened was when I came to try out for the team, because it wasn't a given that I was going to be on IBM. I got connected through another player at the time, Albert Griffin, who was on the team. And he kind of hooked me in with the team and got me in contact with the coach. And coach, our defense coordinator now, Shinzo Yamada, I was speaking with him and I'm going like, okay, so when can I start at linebacker? And he's like, oh well, we kind of have those spots filled. So can you? Oh, and we have this American quarterback coming in, Kevin Kraft. Like, so can you play tight end? Can you catch the ball? And at that point, I had decided I'm going to do anything just to
stay close to the game.
Yeah, stay close to the game and play. And I had no idea what it would develop into. But as you said, like these last 10 years is number 11, obviously. But the thing I'm proud of is like we built this thing. I mean, a number of guys, you could say, myself and Kev and James, and I mean, there's been a lot of people who've contributed, but we built this, IBM BIGBLUE. I mean, we still, falling short in a lot of our goals, but we made this team into, a big time program within the X League. So definitely proud of that, and to be able to live the dream of becoming, being a pro player in the sport that you love. I mean, in a foreign country like Japan, it's just, it's something that, it feels like fate in a way, a fate you never could have imagined in some respects, but fate, for sure.
Yeah. And so you're probably one of the few guys, you're actually probably the only one right now currently. You actually didn't come to Japan to originally play football, right? So what originally brought you to Japan?
I graduated from college, and none of you D1 guys know exactly the feeling, but when you're D3 and you graduate or you're getting close, like You're not going to pro days most of the time. You're not like looking at, at CFL or NFL options. I think the closest I ever came was we had a D tackle getting scouted like when I was a sophomore. He was a junior, and I got to stand like right next to an NFL scout while he was looking at one of our other players, and I was trying to kind of show him what I could do as well.
Buddy, look at me.
That was probably the closest I ever got to being scouted by anybody. So. It was get a job and like be a professional in whatever, area that you're going to choose in. And I had all of my like teammates and classmates. I mean, literally like the day of graduation, the next day, these people, a number of them are like starting jobs. We graduated on like a Saturday, and that Monday, they're like, oh yeah, I'm starting my job as as a banker or whatever. And that just didn't work for me. I worked 6 months in like a sales position in Minneapolis, and it did not. There was something missing. And I wanted to work. I wanted to try living abroad. I had a kind of a connection with Japan, and so I came out here as a teacher. Yeah, so I was an English teacher in Mie, which is prefecture 3 or so hours south of here. And yeah, that's how it all started. Sorry, that was really long.
No. And I mean, you guys came in, right? And I talk about like you were kind of like at your time, right? Like you came in with Kevin Kraft, and we all came in at the same time into the X League. And I remember like, the buzz around Kevin Kraft because he was one of the first American quarterbacks. Kraft came in, and you guys literally lit the X League up. I mean, you guys were kind of like, not in a sense, but you guys were kind of like the Oregon Ducks of old, right? Like you guys came in and just were flying. You guys were running up 40, 50 points a game. And I remember watching you guys throughout that season. And I mean, kind of at that, when you guys first came in, did you feel like there was something, you guys had something special? I mean, you guys have built something. I mean, when I first came in, before you both joined the offense at IBM, IBM was kind of we'll beat them. But when the two of you came in, I remember those. I mean, my first year as well. Like, oh man, like IBM's got an offense. They've never had an offense. Do you think like that first or second year with the two of you was kind of the spark that really lit where IBM's taking the steps?
Oh, I mean, I would agree with you that was the like origin of a lot of our success. But a lot of that, the majority of that, really, goes to old KC over there, Kevin Kraft, because I mean he's not only I think it's not only his ability as a player, but his mind for the game, and he really took the whole organization and showed them. A new way to do things, and had the passion and follow through to take us to another level. So we definitely put all of our energy together to get that done. But yeah, man, those matchups with 𝐒𝐔𝐀𝐀𝐘𝐈𝐍 were always fun, man. I have some memories, especially.
Yeah, you do have.
Yeah.
Remember, it was in the Tokyo Dome. And you had 11 catches, you had 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you looked like 𝐒𝐔𝐒𝐄𝐈 out there against us. With one play in particular, I remember you ran, I want to say it was a skinny post, you ran our boundary corner, tried to tackle you, and you literally just headbutted him.
Did I?
Yes, you did. I remember standing on the sideline, and I looked at somebody, and I was like, did we not get the game plan memo to double team this guy?
Yeah.
But you definitely had some games against us. But I mean, so throughout your 10 years, I mean, you guys have really brought some talent in, right? Now you guys, back early in your guys' career, it was you and Kraft. And now it's like you guys have yourself, you have 𝐿𝐼, you have, your guys' new running back, Jarrell Presley, and things like that. Kind of with those young guys, and I mean, you have, right, a very vocal leader on your team, 𝐿𝐼, who's one of your guys' captains and things like that. But kind of for a long time, you were a captain, which was which was rare in the X League to have a foreigner as a captain for so long. But how is it being now? You're still, in my eyes, you're still one of the leaders. You're still kind of the heartbeat to that team. And kind of how is your role now within IBM and just kind of guiding these guys now that you've, going in your 11th season? How do you see your leadership role evolving?
Yeah, I think, every year is different. Every year, the offense changes a little bit every year. You try to find different ways to win. So this year, probably not featured as much in the past, in terms of we have other really good targets like Omi and those guys. So I try to be, a good role model for those guys. I try to coach them up as much as I can. And then, when we get in those tough situations, just be, a steadying hand and a guy who, shows leadership in the right moments. But, some of these young Japanese guys, and in particular Omi, have such, not only playing potential, but leadership potential. I mean, it's amazing to see. And not only that, but like these guys have such a great mind for the game. Like, he and Suzuki Ryuki, who's another wide receiver. I mean, these guys, I imagine sometime in the future they'll have an option to be, if they wanted a head coach here in Japan, if they're still here in Japan, or if they want to do that because they have such a good mind for the game and they know how to lead. So I just, I'm trying to do anything I can to help us get to the next level. But I still enjoy the game a lot and still just love being around it, man. It's,
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody who watches you can tell, I mean, you are, for a lack of a better term, you are the guy who busts his ass. And you are a definition of hard work. When I watch you guys, and I watched you guys, your very first game against the Thai Deers this season, and there was a third and I want to say 7 or 8. And I remember just looking over at my wife and I was like, watch, they're going to throw this to John right here. And she goes, why? And I was like, you need Mr. Reliable. And sure enough, you guys you ran a little corner route towards the end zone and you caught the ball over the DB's head. And my wife was like, how do you know that? And I'm like, IBM, when you need a first down, when you need a play, John's the guy you go to, and right now you're currently the longest tenured American playing in the X League, and there's a lot of young guys playing right now in the X League, a lot of people who are wanting to get into the X League, and there's always going to be rookies and young guys coming in. What is probably some advice you would give them, knowing everything you've experienced in your 10 years here in Japan? What is something you would kind of say to young guys as they come into Japan and come into playing football here in Japan?
Guys, number one, you're not taking my spot. Guaranteed that.
You're probably not. Like, no, and I call you Iron Man, like literally, like there is no stopping you, like, honestly. But yeah, that's probably the one thing. Yeah, you're definitely not going to take his spot.
No, I'm just playing. I would say, like, for incoming guys, in all seriousness, I would say just be a sponge. Like, maybe that phrase gets overused and everything, but like when I came here and when I started off, like I just put myself into the culture and I put myself into the team, and there was a part of me that I don't want to say like I wanted, I don't know. You
wanted to immerse yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to immerse myself. Exactly. And like just at that time, I was really focusing on learning the language. And like we talked about earlier, I just wanted to make it so like there was no way they could deny me. There was no way that at the end of the year when they're evaluating players and they say, okay, well, does he fit in with the team? Does he play well on the field? Is he a good guy off the field? Like, I didn't want to give them any reason where they were going to say, okay, well, John, we don't need John. So I would advise, that would be my the same advice to guys trying to come here is immerse yourself. And then just like, enjoy the experience, because being here, you of course will be focusing on football, but there's so much to learn about the Japanese culture, the language. I mean, there's a billion great places to travel, as you and I know. And, find yourself a wife that, hasn't worked out too badly for either of us. So, it's a golden opportunity, and just don't mess it up.
Yeah, and I mean, like you know, how I know how it was for me when I became a dad, you know, as a player. You know, is the game changed at all? The way you approach it at all changed since you become a father at all?
Man, that is a good question. I wouldn't say, I mean, I wouldn't say it's changed my approach, but like the satisfaction of coming home. Like I remember I used to come home from practice or a game, and like no matter what, if it's a bad day there, you know, I'm like stressing about football and stressing about a lot of things, but coming home to, you know, a full house with the family there, I mean, it takes away a lot of that stress.
You leave it at the door. I remember,
you can't even bring it in because that just it doesn't mix. So that's just been a huge blessing, and they've just helped me so much in just, you know, life, realizing that life is so much more beyond football. It sounds a little stupid to say that, but you know, when guys like us, you know, we love the game, and it becomes this fully encompassing thing, and then you learn, you know, as you develop the different facets of your life, that like, yeah, football is a great facet, but there are these things that, you know, go way beyond that. So it's been nothing but a good development.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I hope that your wife and yourself have saved all the things that you've done throughout the years, because I'm sure, I mean, I don't know if your daughters realize what you're doing at this point, but I hope that one day they can see how hard their dad worked. And you know, like I talked about myself, when I became a father, I took, you know, the whole thing, right? Walk the walk, not talk the talk. I really kind of took that on, because now there's eyes watching me. And you know, and in the future, if my kids want to play sports, and I know how I'm going to be already, I'm going to be hard on them. I don't want them to be able to like, well, you didn't do it. You didn't, you know, and in front of my kids, I'm going to be like, no, that you saw daddy do it. You know, you saw the work that dad did. And, you know, I'm sure one day, you know, your daughters are going to look back on all the things you did and be like, dang, that's my dad, you know. And just to like end on that note, man, you know, thank you so much for giving me your time. You know, just from me to you, I appreciate all the battles we had.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we had some throwdowns, I mean, shootout games, and you know, it was always an honor to play against you. It was always fun. And you know, I wish you success in not just football, but everything else you do on from here on out. And you know, just thank you for being the example, you know, to guys across the league on how to play this game the right way, how to, you know, adapt here in Japan, and how to live a great life. You know, like we said, right? You have your beautiful wife, your beautiful kids, and you know, again, thank you. Stay healthy and good luck in the playoffs.
Likewise, brother. Thank you.
First, I just want to give a thank you to Bountiful Cafe here in Shinrayasu for having us. This is a cafe that I probably visit maybe once or twice a week. It's a really great place, great atmosphere, as you guys can see in the videos. They have great espressos, lattes, they have smoothies, they have seasonal menus. And if you guys are ever out in the area for Disneyland, just in area in general, I highly recommend it. And again, thank you Bountiful Cafe for having us.